What was that you saying, nigga?
You know that song, right?
Nah, who does that song?
Ludacris and T-Pain, man. Come on.
Oh.
If I took one more drink, I'm gonna end up fucking you.
That's off what album is that off again?
Shit, I don't know. Ludacris has so
I think
many
it's, you know
albums.
what it is? It's Theater of the Mind. Sorry, were you guys tuned in? We're not paying attention to what's going on right now.
About that.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Chris Green. I got the homie.
Yo, this is Mike Divine in the place, man.
And this is episode 1. Episode 1 of what? We don't know. So we're going to figure that out right now. So in other words, we're going to come up with a title for this show. Divine.
Yes.
I tasked Divine and myself with just coming up with some names, and we were just going to figure that out now while we're on the show. So I have an idea for a name, and my idea for the name is Who Cares Anyways? The reason I'm thinking Who Cares Anyways is because we're talking about hip-hop shit, and there's so much other things going on in the world. Right. Really, who gives a fuck anyways about hip hop? So that was my idea for the name of the show. What do you got?
Okay, I'm just gonna throw it out there because
yeah, man, throw it out, motherfucker.
Every time we say in the hip hop industry or to a friend, yo, we're gonna chop it up tomorrow. So I came up with this idea, like just call it the chop up.
The chop up.
Because basically what we're doing is we're chopping it up. We're talking, we're conversating about things that are important to us.
You know what? I'm actually good with that. So Divine, listen, man. I was on my Twitter the other day.
Okay.
And I seen like the most not interesting, but the funniest thing, like complete fucking Kanye West shit.
Oh boy.
So apparently, you know, Watch the Throne, right?
Yes.
Apparently Kanye West wanted to put the word nigga in front of every single song. So niggas in Paris. So you know they got the record, what is it, No Church in the Wild?
I listened to that album from front to back.
So nigga, No Church in the Wild. They got the song Lift Off, nigga Lift Off. They got the song That's My Bitch, nigga That's My Bitch. Like I read the track listing, and I meant to bring the track listing down, but I'm just I'm not prepared clearly, and it's fucking hilarious. So I'm gonna task you, our listeners, to go to Wikipedia, or if you actually bought the album, put the word nigga in front of every single track, and I guarantee you will laugh, and you'll be like, classic Kanye. So getting off that, like we were talking about that Joey Badass. You were fucking, this guy Divine was fucking blazing up my phone all week about the Joey Badass. I'm really feeling the new Kendrick, but I took in what's that Joey Badass call again? The new one?
But the album?
Yeah, the album.
All American
Badass
with
or something?
Yeah, but in the American, he puts KKK, just like Ice Cube did in one of his Americans Most Wanted.
So what was it about that album that you really liked?
You know what? I'll tell you exactly what I took from it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of sincerity and truth. I've been following Joey Badass's career even before he started working like with a major or whatever it was.
Is he with, you're going to have to school me on Badass a bit because I'm not that up on Joey.
Joey Badass, I can't exactly remember what label he is affiliated with or has distribution through. Mm-hmm. Static Selecta is one of his in-house producers that he mainly works with, which is fucking mind-blowing. But Pro Era Crew is who he is a part of. So he has a camp of people that he works with.
A lot of people, yeah.
Rest in peace to Steez. Capital Steez was one of the MCs that passed away and committed suicide.
Well, let me ask you, Divine, do you remember that whole shit where fucking, Capital Steez, he killed himself? Mm-hmm. Let's not forget what that was. He actually killed himself.
Rest in peace to Cap Steez.
Yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace to Capital Steez. But what happened was, there was a diss record.
Yeah.
Okay, by Joey Badass. Mm-hmm. I'm really call it a diss record. He took a jab at Troy.
He took a little jab,
and then Troy Ave came back with an entire diss record called Badass, and he spoke on Capital Steez. So, long story short, we had Troy Ave. He was on the radio, and he actually spoke on that situation. So I'm just gonna let you guys hear that clip. All right, it's pretty fucked up.
It is fucked up,
and
man.
We're gonna get into that right now.
Run it.
You commit suicide. You a bump. You a buster. There's no way to celebrate that. We're not gonna make you into a martyr or nothing. Jumped off a roof. like a bozo and a dickhead. And so
Okay, yo, hold on, man. Come on, man. Come on, Troy. Let's reel up a little bit.
Troy,
Reel up.
I'm telling you what it is.
Okay.
I can't relate.
You got a lot of response on Twitter, and rest in peace to Capital Steez.
Absolutely. I don't think saying rest in peace is a form of celebration. Either.
Let's respond.
Listen, I come from it. It got to be black and white. That's what's wrong with the world. Everybody got to be politically correct and all type of shit. It got to be black and white. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Matt? I don't condone suicide at all. No. And again, I want to start off, rest in peace to Steez.
Yeah,
but
rest in peace, man.
I don't know. Was there more to that? Like, did Steez have, like, mental issues? Is that why did he kill himself? Because obviously that was just a clip of, Troy Ave speaking on his diss record. But Troy Ave made a point of saying, like, motherfucker, I have people in jail doing life. They would have traded places with you in a second, and you took your life. So why the fuck should I show you any remorse? So was there any more insight to why Capital Steez did that?
I didn't really look into the whole suicide issue. I know Capital Steez had some issues. Mm-hmm. Joey Badass hasn't really talked about it. He does touch on it in interviews.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just want to say that, fuck, man, even if Troy Ave didn't even know Capital Steez or even has heard of him, that was the wrong fucking
But it's
thing
a
to
battle,
say,
though.
man.
It's a battle.
Okay, but I understand, but imagine if that was Joey Badass's mom or something, man. You don't talk about people committing suicide. That's a very sensitive topic. Mm-hmm. So for somebody to actually make it sound like it's a joke almost, like they're making it into a parody, the way that Troy Ave is speaking is almost like he's making it into a parody of what it really was. Like, that's reality, man.
But I don't think anybody knows what it was.
But really and truly, whose business is it of theirs to be
know?
critical of somebody's suicide attempt if he did kill himself or not? You shouldn't.
Do you condone suicide in any way?
I don't condone it. But
so
I would never make a mockery out of somebody committing suicide. And I'll tell you why. Because I did have a girl that I know personally that I've known for years. Like a few years ago, she committed suicide and left her son behind.
Okay, but why?
So she had personal demons that she was living with.
So was it mental problems?
It was a combination of a lot, but I would never make a mockery out of it and make her seem to the public eye that, she injected herself with this and this and this and this. Like, it's not my business to speak about.
I get that. But what I'm trying to say, though, is, listen, if there's like mental issues where you can't control yourself, maybe you're off your meds and even that's an argument to be made. Then it's like, why weren't you taking your meds? But the point is if there was mental issues, then okay, that's super gray. But I don't believe in suicide at all. And and just playing devil's advocate to Troy Ave's point, Troy was saying, look, I have people in jail doing life. So when you compare somebody in jail doing life to Capital Steez's life that he was living, let's just say there wasn't any mental illness with as to why he did it. Then it's like, that's why I say there's got to be some levels. Troy was saying it was black and white. I disagree with that. If there was mental shit, I don't think you could speak on that. Exactly. But I mean, like, if it's like, oh, your life is so amazing now and you just can't deal, I don't know, but your life is so amazing now and you can't deal with the pressures of being a celebrity, let me kill myself. I could understand why a nigga in jail would be like, are you fucking kidding me?
But was Capital Steez's life so fucking impeccable?
I don't know.
They were still pro era at that time. They weren't even signed. They were just doing independent shit at that time. So we don't know Capital Steez personally. If it was somebody that we knew, like if it was Docs or if it was Ish or if it was my fucking uncle from up the street, that's completely different because we have family ties with those people.
What I think is the anomaly for me, because allow me to say that if it's a battle and it's on wax, of course there's lines that could be crossed.
That's a huge line though, man.
But
it's not like I fucked your girl. This is, your boy committed suicide and he's a punk and that's bullshit. You don't talk on somebody's best friend dying and committing suicide. That's a sensitive topic.
Yes. Okay, look, I agree with that. There's lines that can be crossed. However, if it's a battle, I think all lines are available to be crossed. What I'm saying is if you cross that line, then you got to be prepared for repercussions. That's why his whole thing was like, yo, Troy Ave's, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but Troy Ave's whole thing was like, look, man, if you push someone, you don't know how they're going to react, so don't fucking push them. Because you push a stranger, or someone you don't know shit about, they may pull a gun out and blow your fucking head off.
That's true.
And whose fault is that?
That's true. Yeah.
Whose fault is that?
It's nobody's fault but your own.
You shouldn't have pushed the motherfucker.
Playing with fire. And,
this is what I'm saying.
In my opinion, Troy Ave fucked up and played with fire. Like, you could hear the response that he got from what he said. And even if I was in this situation and Troy Ave was sitting right in front of me, I might have reached across the table and knocked the motherfucker out.
Yeah, a lot of
I just found it very disrespectful and uncalled for.
Yeah,
you can speak on somebody's clothes. You can speak on the fucking haircut that they have. You can say your bitch is ugly. You can say that I don't like her fucking nose ring. But don't talk about somebody's best friend committing suicide. That's crossing the line. That's all I really got to say.
Okay,
about
so
that.
for you, it's too much.
Troy Ave fucked up. Yeah, if he
for
said
you,
that,
it's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. If he said that about my best friend, if that happened, man, that's fighting words, man. That's fighting words.
Well, that's what how Troy was looking at. Troy was like, all right, do something then. Run up. Run up.
Come on, man. But that's beyond fucking battle raps, man. That's
think about
that's my
all,
heart,
dude.
That's my
I know,
best
but
friend,
think
man.
about all the fucked up lines in battle rap. I mean, like again, you guys, if we were more prepared, we'd probably have some for you. But I'm sure you guys can think of some. Think about all the fucked up shit that was said in very public battle raps, and I mean, people were like, "Oh," but now it's suicide. Everyone, again, I'm not saying it's not a fucking sensitive issue, but I just think that with the times, people are just a lot more sensitive. I think maybe if a line like that came out back in the 90s, people wouldn't even have batted a fucking eyelash. Just like Eminem, when Eminem first popped, he's talking murder, wife, fucking fuck fags and all this shit. He can't do that shit now. If Eminem came out now, are you kidding me? He would be nothing. He would be an underground rapper. You wouldn't even know who he was. So I think it's the times that are also different.
Is there an artist out right now that is similar to Jay-Z? Even though Jay-Z,
what are you talking about?
Even though Jay-Z's still alive,
you can say that.
There's nobody out there that's doing what Jay-Z's done,
dude. Maybe not what he's done, but they're on their way. And I think you know who I'm gonna say, Mr. Six God himself. You really want to have this conversation with me, Divine? Do you really want me to do that? Really? Think about it, all right? Just think about this for a second. When did Jay-Z drop his first album?
1996.
Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt.
What year are we in? 2017. Yeah. Right? So what is this? This is 96. Like just over 20 years, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So if we just like loosely glazed over Jay-Z's accomplishments, I mean, again, I'm sure you motherfuckers are going to catch shit we missed, and that's fine. Leave it in the comments, dick. But if we loosely glaze over Jay-Z's accomplishments, he did what? He went platinum a fuckload of times.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Clothing label.
Mm-hmm.
Owned his own record label.
Mm-hmm.
Artists. He had obviously artists on that label.
Multitude of artists.
What else did he do that comes to mind?
Shit. He bought a fucking basketball team, man.
Bought a basketball team. Okay. And we'll skip over the political connects and how tight.
Isn't he affiliated with some alcohol shit too?
He had his own liquor. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
so when I say all that, I want you to
married Beyonce.
Married. Okay, fine. I guess niggas could look at that as an accomplishment.
That is an accomplishment. Come on, man. He married Beyonce.
That's a fucking big
He didn't marry Joni from Walmart, man. He married Beyonce.
He could have married Superhead, but that's another story. So, but think about this, though, Divine.
Yeah.
Think about this.
Yeah.
All right? And also think about all the records he sold. Now, this is a little homework for you guys out there, too. Drake has been in this motherfucker since I believe like 2006, 2007. So just around 10 years. Drake has his own label. Okay. He's actually sold more records than Jay-Z.
Come on, man.
I'll get back to that in a second, but I'll touch on it for just a quick second. He has.
Come on.
It's a different time, so records are more accessible. There's streaming and all that shit, but streaming does count as an actual sale. Okay, they recognize that officially now. When you
I appreciate that 100%, but you got to understand, man.
He has his own label. He has artists signed to that label.
Yep.
He has his own clothing line.
Okay.
Pop-up shops and shit like that. He has his own clothing line.
Shit.
Thank you. And there was something else, but it escapes me right now. But the point is Jay's been in this for just over 20 years. Mm-hmm. Drake has been in this just around 10. So has Drake done everything that Jay has done? Of course not. If Drake keeps doing and keeps moving at this momentum, is it possible that he can reach that? Maybe even surpass?
Of course.
I think so.
And I'm going to tell you why, though. Is because Drake, being a younger guy, had more access and outlets. When Jay-Z was coming up in 96, do you think he had access to YouTube, Twitter, internet, and all that other shit that we have, like the social media?
Do you think that would have helped?
It would have helped, and it would have enhanced his career. But if you're selling CDs,
but guess
if
what?
you're selling CDs out of the back of your trunk of your car, rather than just chopping them on the internet and putting it up on Amazon for fucking $9.99, you're going to have more people gravitate to it because they have better access to your...
Yeah, you can get it right from your phone.
There you go. But back in 96, there was bag phones in cars. People didn't have access to the music that they want. They don't have Spotify. They didn't have Spotify. They didn't have iTunes. They didn't have MP3 downloader on their phone. They didn't have any of that. And I'm a product of that because I didn't grow up with any of that bullshit. I had to wait till HMV released it in the store to go and buy that hard copy.
Get that, yeah.
And then it was an import from the fucking UK for $26.99.
So you even spent extra for it.
Of course.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is Jay-Z alive still? Did he die today? Jay-Z's still alive, right?
He's still alive.
Jay-Z owns Tidal, right?
Yeah.
Which is a streaming service, right?
Yes.
So all these points you're making, valid, yes. But Jay-Z still has access to the same outlets. He still has access to the same outlets that Drake does. So why is it that when you compare views to, we'll even say, I guess his last album, the Magna Carta Holy Grail, that wasn't released. That was that Samsung thing. He tried it. Remember, he tried to do through that Samsung shit.
I remember that.
Right?
I
so
remember that.
I guess really the point that I'm trying to make is Jay-Z has access to the same online, easy, accessible shit as Drake does. So I'm waiting for Jay's next album, whether it be with Kanye, whoever the fuck, to come out on the same platform, same accessibility as Drake. And I want you motherfuckers to compare that to Drake's latest shit versus Jay's latest shit. And let me ask you, who do you think is going to outsell who? Now it's a fair playing field.
I already know who's going to outsell
say
who.
It. I want to hear you say it, motherfucker.
Drake, but we all know why.
Why? Tell me why.
Because the times are different, man.
What the fuck does that have to do?
And let me break it down.
Jay's been in this bitch longer.
It doesn't matter, man. It's almost like if you were to put out a new Rolling Stones album compared to a new Chainsmokers album, who do you think is going to outsell who? It's all about the times, man. Everything's shifted now. So it's not about a popularity contest because people still fuck with Jay as much as they fuck with Drake. But let me finish though.
Finish,
so
please.
Listen,
finish, nigga.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's already done everything he needs to do. People don't check for Jay the way they check for Drake musically because Jay-Z's on another level. He's an iconic figure. He's a mogul. He doesn't need to put out... Jay-Z could never put out another album for the rest of his life and still live off residuals that he's getting from his old music.
Oh, I agree with that.
Now, the reason why Drake has more followers and he has more people buying his music is because people have more access to it. They've been accessing Drake's music on the internet from day one because Drake is a new kid on the block. Even if you think he's an old school cat and people are like, he's been around from time. Yeah. Drake has been around for a long time. But... how many albums does he have to his catalog compared to a Jay-Z or a Nas or a Pac or...
This is what I'm saying,
You know what I mean? But at the same time, Jay-Z might not sell as many records as Drake, but there's a reason for that. It's because Drake goes towards his target audience and sticks to that. And
what does Jay do?
Jay doesn't fucking care. He just makes music to make music.
So,
if you listen to... Did you listen to the last Blueprint, the Blueprint 3?
Of course.
Okay. That album...
Wasn't Drake on that album?
I'm pretty sure he was.
He was on that album.
But there's a reason why he's going to pull Drake into that.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too.
He's going to pull Drake onto that album to pull and gravitate that audience.
Not to derail your train of thought, but I don't want to lose this. When Drake and Jay-Z do a record together, and they have many, who's benefiting more?
I think they're both benefiting more, but I think Jay-Z's benefiting more.
You're goddamn right.
But that's what I said. Jay-Z's going to benefit from pulling a young, fresh, new artist like Drake onto his album and putting him on that roster. Because as soon as a kid in his 20s or 30s who's not really familiar with Jay-Z's catalog and sees, holy shit, there's a song with Drake, he puts out a video, it goes up on BET, it goes up on all these fucking, MTV, Much Music,
wherever
blah, blah,
it goes,
blah.
it goes.
Boom. It starts a flood. shit, two of my favorite rap artists just put out a song together. They're naturally going to wait for the album, pre-order it on Amazon, and they're going to wait for their hard copy. But who's going to benefit more? Jay-Z in the long run. But whose album are they actually waiting for to come out around the corner is Drake, because Drake is a young, fresh face.
So do you think
Jay-Z's older now?
So to me, it sounds like you're saying Drake needs the co-sign.
Not necessarily. Drake can hold his own, but at the same time, I think when Drake kind of rides on the curtails of the old school cats, and when they pull him in, it's almost as though
it is a co-sign.
It's almost like, I'm gonna fuck with Drake because, Jay-Z said it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I was a Drake fan before he even got signed to Cash Money. You know what I mean?
From like the earlier shit, the EPs, the mixtapes.
Yeah, like his mixtapes and shit. Yeah, like when he used to work with like Dilla and all those motherfuckers, and he used to work with Fonte and Little Brother and all that. I was a fan of Drake.
Did he actually do a Fonte record? Why do I feel like I've heard Peter Rosenberg?
He did a song, and the song is called "Don't You Got a Man." Look it up.
So he actually has it.
Yeah, to the audience out there, look up a song called "Don't You Got a Man." It's featuring Dwele on the hook, I think. Man,
and Fonte did the.
I'm pretty sure Fonte's on there and Big Pooh. I'm pretty sure it was a Little Brother combo with Drake. And this is when Drake was working with Trey Songz, man, when he put out that first video, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I've been following Drake's career from the beginning, man. We're going back to when we all used to go to the clubs and hang out, man. This is going way back to Grassy days. So,
well, Jay-Z's a grimy ass nigga, man. I mean, look at what he did to Dame Dash. Yo, peep this shit. Well, I don't want to. You know what? The clip isn't going to justify the Dame Dash situation. But what I'm trying to say,
I want to hear this shit.
What I'm trying to say, it's not going to justify the Dame Dash situation. But you niggas know what's going on with Jay, or what happened with Jay and Dame Dash. And so Dame Dash, he's working on something. Check this shit out.
I know people been asking me a lot about the Roc-a-fella movie you talked about briefly.
Yeah, right now.
You still
just developing it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, because that'll have to be. Well, it's the series, almost like the New Edition movie.
It's the perspective. I don't think, the movie I'm gonna make is not gonna be what everyone's expecting, and I just would probably leave it at that. Because there's a lot that people didn't see, and that would be the part that I'd be showing. So you don't know what I'm gonna show you
from your.
It's like why would I just make a recreation of what everyone saw? I want to make things that no one knew. I want to attack it a way that no one would attack it. You know what I'm saying? You can do it obvious. It'll probably be done over and over again. But if I do it from my perspective, it probably won't be the one that everyone's thinking. You know what I'm saying? I won't do it unless it's something interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yo, I gotta give a hand. I gotta give a clap for this.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I'm gonna tell you why, man. Fuck, I'm gonna go right in on this.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
When you sent me that, I was so excited.
See that movie?
Yo, I'm a big Dame Dash supporter, man.
Oh, you're just a fan of Dame in general.
Because Dame Dash is a fucking underdog, man. Like,
Facts,
people don't look out for Dame the way they should. That guy really held Jay-Z up on a pedestal for a long fucking time. And look who he brought to the table. He got Diplomats on there. He got State Property popping off. He got look at all the movies that they put out, man.
Okay, you're skipping over one of the bigger artists. Let's not forget Kanye.
Oh,
you got to remember that Jay-Z did not want Kanye to rap.
Oh, I know.
Dame was the one who lobbied for him.
Dame pushed him. Dame co-signed that nigga from time. And the reason why I'm so happy about this is because Roc-a-fella as a dynasty is a lot bigger than people think. And there's people that came in and out of Roc-a-fella that probably were forgotten. Like, even one of the singers named Rel. Rel was a beast. And people forgot him. I don't know, but people forgot about Rel.
Who's the other rapper? He was on Jay-Z's first album. He had a track called Face Off. Motherfucker. It's going to come back. Fuck you, listeners.
Like, what happened to Memphis Bleak?
Sauce Money.
Sauce Money is a beast.
Money. What happened to Sauce Money?
I don't know, man. Sauce Money was another one that was underrated and kind of pushed aside. They didn't really market him properly.
No.
You know what I mean? They didn't really push him. There
was the Riders, the Rangers, sorry, on Jay-Z's the Hard Knock Life Volume 2. They did it. They're sick. There was another group called I think called Christian or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, another R&B group. There was like two guys. Yeah.
Yes.
If you watch the first or second State Property movie, they're in that movie.
They are?
they're doing something in that movie.
Who obviously we don't even want to
and
talk
there was a
about
girl.
Emil.
There was a girl.
Emil.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Emil. No disrespect to Emil, but I wasn't a fan of Emil.
Yeah, she sucks.
But you got to think of like Oskino. You got to think of like Petey Crack. You got to think of like
All State P, basically.
The whole camp, Beanie Siegel, Freeway.
So this movie
would be fucking fantastic.
But it's gonna be from Dame's perspective.
But at the same time, you got to respect that because Dame was a part of this from day one.
But do you think it's gonna be skewed though?
I don't think Dame's about that.
Listen, what you said right when we got into this is people don't give Dame, well, maybe not word for word. People don't give Dame the credit he's due. So now if Dame is feeling that way too, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. But if he's feeling that way too and he has an opportunity to put together, a film based on The Roc from day 1 to day 100 to the end, and he's in his mind, he's like, niggas ain't giving me my props. They don't really know what I did. Don't you think it's going to be skewed and he's just going to really highlight all his shit?
You know what? That's kind of a yes and no answer. It's a double-edged sword with that. But I think that in order for him to appropriately tell this story and to get the point across as to where Roc-a-fella incepted from and where it is now, he can't just do that shit on his own. He's going to have to go through people in order to tell that truth.
To get that story.
He's going to have to bang heads with Jay.
Do you think that he's going to do that, man?
He has no choice.
Do you really think that Dame Dash is going to do Dame Dash
has to bang heads with Jay, Freeway, Beanie. He has to go through some bullshit in order to get that story out there.
I'd be very interested to see it. I don't think it's gonna fucking happen.
I think it's gonna happen.
I mean, the movie will happen. I don't think he's gonna click with any of these niggas.
I think if it's a money grab, and I think if people can see the potential in it, and they know that it's gonna work, and it's gonna be a great operation, they're gonna. You
mentioned earlier that Jay-Z doesn't need to do albums anymore. And you don't need to tell me that. Everyone knows that.
Everybody
Jay-Z
knows
is good.
that.
So why would Jay-Z, whatever issues they have between Jay and Dame, why do you think Jay would fucking be like, all right, let's bury the hatchet, you're my nigger, and let's make this movie happen? No.
You want to know something? No. Maybe it's that point where this is the right time for those two to maybe rekindle something.
You think this is the turning point?
I hope so.
Listen, we're going to save that for when the movie actually comes out.
But I'm excited. I'm really hoping.
Me too. I'm a fucking big Roc-a-fella fan,
Me
man.
too.
Come on.
Me too. I never wore the clothes, but
I had the clothes, man.
Okay, you had the clothes. Shout out to
I had the jeans.
Shout out
suit,
for
son.
having the clothes.
I had the fucking the Roc-a-wear jean suit. It was dark blue with the baby blue stitching, man.
Ooh, the baby blue stitching.
Plus I had the fucking the black suede leather jacket.
Holy crap.
With the Roc-a-wear symbol on. Yo, that shit ran me like
deep.
$2. It was a $400 jacket. I'm proud to say I got a 50% discount on that shit.
Nice.
And then I ruined it like in 2 days. That's another story.
But I just got to say I am really excited for the movie.
Absolutely.
Man. And I really hope it does drop because I think that's a story. They've been around for a long time, man. Even before 96, when Jay-Z was dropping those singles, man. I think even back then, people need to know, like, I can't get with that. And the videos that were low budget and filmed on yachts and stuff. People need to know that story and where that money came from.
Listen, there's
that's an important story,
there's
man.
definitely an interest in that. When Jim Jones was on Funk Flex and he was talking about his new deal with Roc Nation, he spoke about literally the inception of Dipset from the beginning all the way to that video is viral. As a matter of fact, the video had so much impact, Cam had to respond.
Yeah.
Cam responded on his Insta Live or some shit like that. And when he responded, I believe it was during the Grammys or the Oscars. It could have even been the Super Bowl. I can't remember. But it was some popular, like super popular. And the people that were tuned in to his shit rivaled the ratings of that popular event at that time. People are still very vested in the Roc-a-fella situation, whether it be Dipset or whatever. So it's definitely going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, and I would hope that Dame Dash would tie in that whole Dipset era into the Roc-a-fella story. Because that was a huge turning point in the Roc-a-fella.
It was part, I think it had something to do with why, I don't think all of it, but why they, remember when Cam got named vice president?
Yes.
That's when Jay-Z was off on vacation. Yes. I don't even think Jay-Z even really wanted to fuck with Cam.
Well, there's a clip that I always revisit, and it's on YouTube if you guys have YouTube at home.
Nigga, if you don't have YouTube,
if you don't have YouTube, then
kill yourself now.
There's a clip with AJ and Free, and it's called it's something about the most uncomfortable moment between Jay-Z and Cameron. And they are on the couch sitting side by side.
Yeah.
And Cam is kind of laid back in the couch with his mic talking. Actually, he didn't get to talk for probably about 10, 15 minutes.
Was Cam like looking at Jay like what?
Yeah, because AJ and Free were paying more attention to Jay-Z and his album dropping. Okay. I think it was when the Black album came out, and they were talking about Jay-Z and when's your new album coming out? And I'm so excited. And they didn't get to camera until after they dropped the video and came back from commercial break. And then they finally chimed in and started talking to camera. And people looked at that as one of the most awkward moments between Jay-Z and Cameron.
I gotta see. I haven't even seen that shit.
I watch that. I watch that all the time because I'm trying to always dissect it and see what was going on at that point in time. And I think those are moments that Dame, hopefully if Dame ever listens to this, Dame needs to touch on pieces of the relationship like that, and maybe that's where they started.
Between Cam and Jay?
Between Cam and Jay, and why the Dipset camp was dissolved from Roc-a-fella to begin with.
Listen. I don't want to get too deep into it, but listen, anybody who followed Roc-a-fella and Dipset, or single out and say Cameron, whatever, Cam has spoken on this many times from when he first got signed to Roc-a-fella, and he was just like, yo, I'm happy to be here. You guys already established. I'm here just to grow. Dame rescued Cam from his Sony deal.
Yes.
So I'm blessed to be here even. So, I mean, if you let Cam tell the story, Jay was a dick from jump. So who do you believe in this situation? Who was a dick? Was it Cameron or was it Jay-Z? Who was the dick in this situation?
Well, I could see Jay being the dick because he's at that level of the pyramid that kind of puppeteers the whole shit.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I think Jay was the dick too.
Yeah, he's standing up there. That level of hierarchy is fucked up, man. And he could say, you know,
but why? But why? Why would you be such an asshole to Cam? Is it like a Brooklyn Harlem thing?
It could be, man. That's territorial right there, man. A Harlem motherfucker coming in on a Brooklyn nigga is like, that's pretty intense.
But Dame is from Harlem. And Jay fuck with, see, this is the thing, and we're never going to know this, but I always wondered that. If you guys have any insight, leave it in the comments, man. But I want to get past that for a second. I want to talk about a nigga that you are a huge fan of, and me too.
Who, Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson is the shit, nigga.
Michael Jackson is the shit.
I'm talking
Always
about,
will be.
I'm talking about this dude.
Now, understand, was it in 2012? You got shot in the face.
Right. Well, I got shot in the back of the head and in the neck, you know what I mean, the shoulder. Yeah, I ain't get hit in the face, but that shit, it like went all the way up in here and was stuck in my throat. I had that shit in my neck for like a year and a half, you know what I mean? But I was still doing my thing in the booth, you know what I mean?
You know who that is. Who's that, Devon?
Yo, that's Conway, bro. Woo! Conway and Westside Gunn, man.
Talk about Conway, man.
Yo, Conway is one of those motherfuckers that's a real street dude, man. Like, you know, I got put on by Conway. Fuck, I don't even know how I came across this dude's music. I think I was listening to Westside Gunn, but there was a song. Yo, those niggas. Yo, those are honestly, those are. You remember MOP?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, yo, shout out to MOP, man. Those dudes remind me of some fucking MOP.
Yeah,
grimy. Fucking New York niggas would just fuck a nigga up.
Yo, I can't.
And the reason why I love these guys so much is because they just don't give a fuck.
Nah, at all.
If you can name your album after Adolf Hitler and have a picture of that motherfucker on
the cover,
that is ballsy. Yeah. And it just proves the point that anything goes in the hip hop game right now.
Facts.
But, you know, shout out to Conway. Like, yo, I love to do a track with Conway.
He's a beast, man. He's super lyrical, man.
But he's super lyrical, but his delivery and the way he kind of lays back in the beat, he doesn't go super hard aggressive on it, but he lays back in the cut and almost lets the beat ride over him.
Yeah.
But it's just he gets his point across. And Westside Gunn just comes on, like he'll come on and do a little 1-2 ad lib.
Boom, 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 boom.
And just add, you know what I'm saying? And just add his little taste to the shit. And it just bubbles my blood, man. And the first time I ever heard anything by Westside Gunn was because of Sky Zoo. And Sky Zoo had a track on his album called Music for My Friends. And that became one of my favorite albums. And Westside Gunn just did a little hook on there.
He just did the hook.
Yeah, he did the hook. And then the video came out and I saw a visual. and the voice matched the face, and then as soon
that doesn't always happen.
It doesn't, and it doesn't. But then as soon as I typed in YouTube, I typed in Westside Gunn, and Conway's fucking catalog was introduced to me. You know, it pops up like recommended for you and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck. That was a 2-3 o'clock in the morning listening session for me, man. Because I appreciate good music, whether it's rock and roll, hip hop, R&B,
whatever,
disco. No, fuck.
Nigga,
just kidding. No, but alternative
robot.
Yeah. Like, not disco so much, but I'm talking like if it's good music, I'm gonna appreciate it. But these guys put out some good fucking music.
So what do you think about the signing to Shady?
See, that's the point where
is this a bad thing?
It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's
not for them.
No, it's not. I mean, that's definitely gonna help them grow as a brand. And it's definitely going to give them great marketing.
What about Slaughterhouse, man? They fucked up the first Slaughterhouse
album. Yeah, the first Slaughterhouse album was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, they fucked that right up.
How are you going to have some of my favorite MCs in a group and then fuck it up? You know what I mean?
This is what I'm saying. Like, do you think that they would learn? Because the thing about it is like when you looked at Slaughterhouse's music prior to that album, and then same kind of comparison with Conway, Westside Gunn. Not the same kind of music, but grimy and shit like that. And you look at what Shady did with their first album. Do you think they're gonna try to do that? I don't even think you can. I don't even think you could you could make Conway and Westside sound clean and rap some happy shit. I don't think you could do it. I don't think you can.
I would hope not, but you gotta understand, man. Like even when Mobb Deep did that whole signing, when they left. And they went over to the other side.
What, the G Unit?
Yeah, like that was the worst move. But that's what I'm saying. Think about that, and then think about Conway and Westside signing to a major. Because when people say, "Oh my God," hand clap to them, they signed to Shady Aftermath. They're actually signing to Interscope.
Yep.
They're not signing just to Shady.
No.
So the umbrella of Interscope and who Interscope is actually owned by, because Interscope is just a label inside of another entity.
Absolutely.
Interscope is not the full umbrella. So people tend to not understand the concept of a label. There's always distribution and there's always a hierarchy and where that level comes
there's
from.
Other shit that
the funding and the funding and the money doesn't necessarily just come from Interscope. There's a higher person
absolutely
above Interscope. So when we think about Interscope and we think about Shady Aftermath and then we think about like Death Row and all those other labels that have been out there, they all get money from somewhere and there's somebody pushing the button saying you got to make your music this way and clean it up.
Well, what I'm saying is I hope they don't do that. I think that will hurt their brand.
But it will happen. Look what happened with Mobb Deep. When Mobb Deep signed,
that hurt their brand.
But that's what I'm saying, and I don't support it. Not to take anything away from Shady Aftermath, Eminem, and his camp.
Nigga, you got to take it away from them.
No, but I'm saying Eminem.
You got...
Eminem is in his own lane. Eminem as an artist and as an entrepreneur is in his own lane. But to take two street niggas who you don't really know, I don't know their relationship, but if he doesn't really know anything about them as artists and as musicians and the type of sound they're looking for, how are you going to bring them into a label that might not be the best fit for them? If it's a money thing, I get it. But if it's from an artistry thing,
no, it can't be.
The point that he's gonna allow them to work with producers that they want to work with.
You know what they gotta do? They gotta say, yo, here's the bag. We just signed you. Here's the bag. Here's your recording budget, video budget, blah, 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 blah. And do your thing. Just submit it to us.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
But if you're going to sign to a major label like that, Interscope, Shady Aftermath, and you're going to want to put out a catalog of music that's not going to move units, you're going to get dropped in a year? Then you're back to being independent? Then what's the point of even being on a label?
What I'm trying to say, though, is I think what got the attention of Shady anyways is the type of music that they're doing, and not just Shady, not just Eminem. People fuck with Conway and Westside Gunn because of the shit that they're doing.
Yeah, but if
they go left, that's gonna tank anyway.
And they will go left because it happened with Slaughterhouse, and people to this day still talk about the first Slaughterhouse album.
Basically, these niggas are stupid then. And when I say
no,
I don't mean Conway and Westside Gunn. I'm talking about the marketing team at Shady Aftermath.
I think it's the stupidest move possible.
That means these niggas are dumb. If they do the same shit, they fucked up with Mobb Deep. They fucked up with Slaughterhouse, and then they're gonna bring in kind of the same type of group artists and they're going to do the same thing. You're not going to learn from your mistakes. That means these niggas is dumb.
They should learn from their mistakes. And the same thing happened with MOP when they signed with Roc-a-fella. That was the worst fucking business move.
You don't think it was a good deal? I was excited for MOP, but I guess.
No. And I'll tell you why. Because Primo being one of their main producers, DJ Premier, one of the best hip hop producers out there. Yeah, he did some production with fucking Jay-Z and whatever.
Christina Aguilera,
yeah.
Fantastic song.
Oh, amazing. But you got to think, man.
Yeah.
Mobb Deep and MOP, those are street dudes. Yeah, Jay-Z has some street niggas on his camp, whatever. But they do music for fucking head nodders, man. They do music for street dudes. They don't do that happy-go-lucky, like, throw your hands in the air and waving like you just don't care, hip-hop hooray and Naughty by Nature shit. No disrespect to Naughty by Nature, but they're in another lane, man. You can't have MOP sign a Roc-a-fella and tell them to throw on a RW jacket and fucking clean your image up.
You think that's what happened?
That's exactly what happened. Their fucking production changed. Their lyrics changed. Nobody fucked with MOP when they put out albums through Roc-a-fella.
I don't think...
I pulled back from them as a fan.
I don't think that... Okay, going back to Conway and Westside Gunn.
Worst business move ever.
No.
Money-wise, it's fantastic for them to be signed.
You can't say it's the worst yet because the album isn't out. We don't know.
It's worse for me because I don't want it to hurt their integrity as underground artists.
And you're basing that on Mobb Deep and Slaughterhouse.
Because I support the underground more than I support mainstream. And to me, Shady Aftermath has become so mainstream. And the reason why I say that is because Eminem is the umbrella. He holds it and he's a puppeteer of that. Eminem is one of the best freestyle artists out there, but does he put out underground albums? No, he puts out mainstream albums for his audience, the fucking girls who want to come see him take his shirt off at a show.
Listen,
he's not making underground. So for him to support these two, kudos to him. I applaud him for taking these two guys aside and saying, yo, I'm going to sign you motherfuckers. But is he going to allow them to have the freedom to be creative?
I think he will.
You can't say that because that didn't happen with Slaughterhouse.
Okay, I get that.
If that was the case, if Slaughterhouse's first album that came out on that label was successful, then I wouldn't be having this conversation with you right now. I wouldn't even have questioned. I'd be like, you know what? Slaughterhouse was a fucking gold mine, and it was successful. And Joe Budden, Crooked Eye, fucking Royce, Jewel, they all had a success. They all had success off of this album. They all ate.
Yeah.
But when that album came out, I was excited. And then when I listened to it for the first time, I was so disappointed. And if that happens with these two,
I don't think
it's going to hurt their credibility.
I don't think it will.
I think it will tank.
I don't think it will.
I think it's going to fucking tank. And I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
It's because think about this, man. Even with Nas went through the hardest fucking time with producers. Everybody knows Nas is one of the top lyricists. He's in my top 5.
Nigga can't pick a beat for shit.
But that's the problem. He's in my top 5. But listen to after It Was Written when I Am came out and then Stillmatic came out. All those albums had maybe 3 good songs on each album.
You don't like I Am?
I like I Am, but I like I Am for other reasons. I don't like I Am necessarily because of the production. I like It Was Written, and I Am falls off production-wise because Trackmasters was introduced at that time. Trackmasters took over production. So
after It Was Written.
Right. Yeah. It Was Written had a mixture of producers. Like, he had a lot of Mobb Deep influences on there. If you really listen back to the second Nas, there's a lot of Mobb Deep influence, like Havoc on production.
Yeah.
Those heavy bass lines and drum kicks.
Yeah.
And that's
when...
No,
Timberland was on I Am.
Yeah,
Timberland was on I Am.
But then you got to think when that whole Timberland beats, fucking those double kick drums and those, that was introduced when Missy was brought out and Genuine was brought out and all that shit. So that sound was really popping at that time. Right now, people aren't really fucking with the underground shit. So Eminem has his own followers. Eminem is about not just making music, but he's about making money, right? Because if he's going to sign somebody to a label, you got to produce records, you got to produce numbers, right?
Yeah.
So people who buy underground music don't necessarily walk into a record store and buy fucking CDs. They dig crates. They look for the shit.
Of course.
So if they put out an album that's produced by in-house producers that M fucks with, or if M's doing the production, I'm not the biggest fan of Eminem's production.
Nah.
Eminem's produced for Nas.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was on the Godson album he produced. It
was on Godson. That Cross record. Or
I did not fucking like that.
You didn't like that? I thought that was great, man.
With that dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
You didn't like that? Well, yeah, like, his beats do sound very similar. I know when Eminem's on the production.
Of course, it's like when you know when it's a fucking Nerd Neptune's track. You know when it's a will.i.am song. And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I necessarily can't take this shit seriously because, like I said before, I'm a huge underground hip hop supporter. I grew up around DJs and mixtape motherfuckers who introduced me to a lot of music. Mm-hmm. And for me, when I see two underground artists like that who are not on major distribution and they're able to push out mixtapes and they're able to put out music that's true-hearted and is from them and it's sincere. Yeah. Once you take away that sincerity and you take away that heartfelt music and you start putting, you know what, you guys got to put out an album within the next 6 months.
That's going to happen.
But you can say that. But did you think that about Slaughterhouse too?
Of course not.
Did you think by Slaughterhouse getting signed to that label with Eminem that the first album was going to be a fucking phenomenal album?
Of course I did.
But then you were disappointed.
Of course,
and that's exactly how I feel right now.
So this is what I'm saying. I have faith that Eminem will do the right thing.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying. And we're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that. Okay?
It's going to be a disaster.
No, I think, okay, listen.
Let's revisit that.
Yeah, we will. But you guys in the comments, let me know what you think the Westside Gunn and the Conway album is going to sound like. Let me know if you think it's going to be successful or let me know if you think Eminem's going to fuck the whole thing up.
I think it's going to get fucked up.
I think it will be all right.
If they're going to release separate albums or as a collective, a duo.
A collective.
If they're doing an album together, it's going to get fucked up.
Your opinion is your own, my friend. I want to wrap this up, but before I do, I want to talk about damn. I want to talk about Kendrick Lamar, right? Because I've been very vocal about me not liking Kendrick Lamar's music. And people tell me all the time, you got to listen to his fucking album. Give him a chance. Finally, I listened to Damn. And by the way, I'm not a fan of Humble either, but I felt like Humble was one of those records that they just shoved in your fucking face. They just raped you with the song until you liked it. Yeah. I think the beat is very amateur. I think the hook's incredible. I think the visuals are incredible as well. And because of that and the force feeding of the song, and I know people have an argument to that. Well, nigga, it's on YouTube. You don't have to press play. But the point is I eventually grew to the song. Finally, I listened to the album and I thought it was fantastic. But there's Peter Rosenberg, and everybody know Peter Rosenberg is a huge fan of Kendrick Lamar. Let's hear what Peter Rosenberg had to say after he listened to that album.
Not only is Kendrick easily in your top 10 of all time and pushing towards top 5 of all time for greatest rappers, I believe, in my opinion, and I wanted to say it last album, but I didn't want people to yell at me, and I'm a human person with flaws and sensitivities as well. Kendrick's the best rapper who's ever lived. There's not a person who can rap on planet Earth better than Kendrick Lamar. Eminem can rap as well. Nas can rap as well. Whoa. Big Pun is right around there as well. But I don't believe anyone can rap better than Kendrick Lamar. Now that doesn't make him the greatest. Hove to me is still the greatest overall in terms of the big picture, the body of work, the money, the business ventures, the swag.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is clearly a work.
However, I believe that when it comes to rapping, you tell me who you can be like, oh, without a doubt, so and so's better. Oh, without a doubt. And I would go, well, I just keep listening to these albums. I was listening last night. He does things with his use of words, his voice, his cadences that
different characters.
Ebro, we're not even mentioning the content. We're not even mentioning the fact that when this guy has an opportunity to get richer, which he does, and to have more money, and don't think he doesn't have the ear for making hits. He does. He consciously chooses to continue to make music that true hip-hop heads will be proud of.
Listen, I want to say one thing before we dive into that. Divine, we have 10 minutes. Okay. I'm putting that out there because I know Divine's gonna go ham on this shit. All right, we got 10 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, listen. I love the Damn album. If I had to rate that shit out of 10, I'm gonna give it. I remember I was telling you about the songs that I wasn't feeling too much like that. He has this record called Love, and then he has this record called God. Okay, and I can listen to those songs. They're good songs, but I think to me, those songs prevent it from being like a 10 out of 10. So because of those two things, I would give it a strong 9.
Okay.
What do you give it out of 10 before we get into that?
I haven't listened to the entire album.
Okay.
I've listened to probably about 70% of it. I'm going to give the album, so far from what I've heard.
No.
No? Okay.
Is that fair that you can rate an album and you haven't heard it yet?
You want to know why? Because I'm basing it off of my expectations and what I already know.
Okay, all right. Then tell me what you think out of 10, and then we'll revisit
for now, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay.
And the reason being is because I'm comparing it to his last two albums, last two full length, like To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City.
Mm-hmm.
Good Kid, Mad City, I don't think any of his albums could really test that album.
Is it that good?
Because like I said before, it's a story, bro. Like, it's a story from top to finish. He has his parents on there talking, and he has TDE. He has his whole crew in there, and it's a storyline, man. Like, to the point where you can hear the doors closing in the car and hear them speeding away from cops.
It's like a production. It's like a motion picture.
Yeah, it's well produced. It's well. It's almost like you can smell the grass that they're walking on. Wow. And that's why I like this.
That's a pretty big statement.
It is, man. Like, I'm telling you, you got to take it in.
So I don't mean to interrupt you, but I also don't want to get away from what Peter Rosenberg
I was just going to touch on
that.
Do
you think that he is literally the best rapper ever?
No, I don't think he's the best rapper ever. I think he's one of the best out there right now, really pushing it. You know, that's actually staying in his lane and really staying true to his craft. I think that he's not really trying to, push away from what people expect from him. Because because when you think about Kendrick Lamar, he has to live up to people's expectations as being a lyricist and coming out with those, to really gravitate to his audience and be innovative. And he's not really taking anything away from that. Even when he does a song with Taylor Swift, he still goes in hard. He's still an MC. He's not doing that bubblegum bullshit on the hook when he's on it. He's really giving the audience what they expect. That true Kendrick Lamar fire. And that's why I respect him as an artist.
But why do you say he's not the best? First, why do you say he's not the best? I'll tell you why, then I want to know what you think.
Okay.
I'll say he's not the best because Nas exists, because Mos Def exists. Okay? And those are just to name a few. Okay?
And I respect that, but just to chime in on that.
Of course.
For you to, and this is a thing, and I think as people that follow hip hop or just music in general, we can't keep making these lists saying you're the best MC ever, because there's two different lanes now. So the best list for me from a certain time period to a time period will vary depending on the centuries.
Right.
So for me, Kendrick might be in my top 5 for the new century, but not for the century before.
So Rosenberg said he's the best
of all time.
Of all time.
See, for me, no, he's not the best of all time. Like, if you were going to
say...
Who
would you put over him?
I would put Nas or Rakim over him.
Okay.
Absolutely. I would even put a Ghostface Killah up
Do you
there.
think... Absolutely. Yes. How the fuck can I forget Ghostface? Do you think that Kendrick, over time, the right consistent body of work... I'm not talking about business moves. I'm not talking about
endorsements and any of
none
that
of that.
bullshit.
I'm talking about music.
Music.
Okay? Music. Do you think in time Kendrick has the opportunity to do that?
I absolutely do, man. I think what he really needs to do is just stay focused on what his audience needs from him. Because right now, hip-hop's really taking a turn for the worst. Not necessarily a turn for the worst.
Nigga, I agree.
No. But what I'm saying is because, like, music in general always goes in swirls. Like, we always have commercial music coming in and hopping in and out because radio has to survive, right? So in order for music to survive, it has to have different lanes. Commercial music.
That's true.
Radio stations have to survive based on bubblegum shit that they have to
play. They
play.
need to generate that income back into the industry.
Of course.
So
and they need
that commercial
They
shit.
need that content, and I have to respect that, but I don't have to listen to it.
Absolutely.
So back to Kendrick Lamar, he has the ability to be one of the best ever, but he'll never be my number one. He probably won't be a lot of people's number one. Maybe to the new generation, that will be their number one. But I think he just needs to remain consistent and stay focused on his craft and keep putting out the music he's doing and not let other people influence him to use different producers.
Who in the new generation is topping Kendrick Lamar musically. To me, who comes to mind, I'd have to say it J. Cole.
I was going to say the exact same name.
I'd have to say it J. Cole.
I would say J. Cole and Kendrick are on par with that right now. And I think a lot of people really put those two to a similar contest.
I would definitely have them in the same conversation.
I would. And the reason why is because they're doing similar music on a sociological and political standpoint. They're doing similar music. But their music style is different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that probably because they're from different
areas and shit.
Yeah,
like
that. He's from Compton and J. Cole is from
He's from North Carolina.
He's from North Carolina, but bases himself out in New York.
New York and shit.
Right?
So
I mean,
texture in his music.
Yeah, he has different texture, and Kendrick Lamar is over on Dre's camp. And you got J. Cole on Live Nation. Yeah. He's over with Jay.
Yes.
He's on Roc Nation with Jay.
Yes.
Right? So there's two different musical influences. J. Cole has more of that New York sound, and he crosses over to some of the fucking, the South shit. Right? And he does a lot of his own production.
J. Cole
does a lot of his production on his tour bus.
Get him,
he does a lot of his production on his tour bus and calls his man over yo, you got to listen to this shit. Yeah. Throw some keys on
I don't think people give him the credit for that, man.
J. Cole does
a lot of that shit.
Yeah, he does a lot of it. But then you got Kendrick Lamar, who has his in-house producers like TDE, Top Dog. You know what I mean? So you got two different flavors. You got chocolate and you got strawberry. But it's up to the people and the consumer to decide on who is their champ.
Duckworth. People, I seen on my Twitter, people were saying Duckworth is literally one of the greatest hip hop stories of all time. I seen that. I thought it is an incredible fucking song as far as the story is concerned, and it's fact. So I thought the way he did it was amazing. I thought the production was amazing, everything top to bottom. However, I can't be aware of hip hop and listen to so much music and say that's the best without having to mention Biggie Smalls' "Give Me the Loot." You know what I mean? I think that although "Give Me the Loot" is obviously it's not real, but I would have to put that right up there as well. What's your thoughts on that?
I wasn't really a big fan of "Give Me the Loot" to begin with, but
you're fired.
I got to be honest, man. Like that wasn't one of the songs that actually touched me, man. "Ready to Die" was a well fucking put together album, but "Give Me the Loot" was not one of them.
Okay. We got Duckworth. Is there any hip hop song out there that you would rival that to as far as the story's concerned?
There's a lot of them, man.
Name one if you can. For you guys out there as well listening, man, leave it in the comments. Duckworth is the last song on Kendrick Lamar's Damn album. It's being considered one of the greatest hip-hop stories ever told. I disagree. I think it's fantastic, but what you guys think definitely matters more than what we think. So I want to know what you guys have to say in the comments. Divine, what do you think?
Man, I was a fan of the song. I thought the song was amazing, but I don't think it was the best song that's told a story. There's Slick Rick. There's Nas.
Fuck, of course.
You know what I mean? You gotta think of the best storytellers out there in hip hop.
Yeah.
And not saying Kendrick, not taking anything away from him, but he's not gonna take anything away from a Slick Rick, man. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say, have you ever listened to Children's Story? Have you ever really taken that in?
I've listened to it, of course, but not taking it in. So you would put that over Duckworth then?
Because that's from my time, man. And I'm just proving a point,
and that's fine.
I'm just proving a point.
I'm just proving
a point, man. People rate Kendrick as one of the best. Yeah, he's amazing, but there's a lot of artists out there that can hold a candle to Kendrick. It's just they're not out there. They're not shining like Kendrick right now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
No disrespect to Kendrick Lamar. Again, he's fucking amazing.
And the album's incredible too. But like we always say, man, music is a matter of opinion. You know what I'm saying? My favorite artist could be somebody you never heard before.
That's true.
People's favorite artist is Lil fucking Yachty somehow.
One of my favorite artists is Odyssey, and y'all motherfuckers probably
you were telling me.
Odyssey.
Yo,
telling you.
Check Odyssey out. I got
Odyssey,
do the same thing.
The Iceberg, the new album. I'm going to see him on May 27th, Adelaide Hall. You got to check that shit out, man.
All right, man. Well, yo, this is the first episode.
Woo!
Listen, man, I definitely want to shout out Mike Boogie because Mike Boogie's, he's given us a platform. So make sure you guys tune into Maximum FM.
Maximum FM, shout that out, man.
Absolutely. Every time you guys get the chance, man. And make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to be doing this shit every single Saturday at 9 o'clock. You guys, if you didn't catch the full show, you can check out the full show on the YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, The Ignorance is Free. Don't forget to subscribe. There's lots of fuckery on that channel. I think you degenerates will enjoy. You can also follow me on Instagram at The Ignorance is Free, and my Twitter at I'm Chris Green. And again, the name of the show is
The Chop Up, man.
The Chop
Hey,
Up,
yo,
man.
check this out. This is Mike Divine, man. New music is coming soon. But yo, I just gotta say, if anybody has anything to comment on, leave in the comment section. If you have any suggestions for show topics or anything that that we might have fucked up today, It's important for you to put that in the comment section.
You guys are gonna make the show better, man. And also leave it in the comments. You can also email us at you can email me at The Ignorance is Free with a Z, because I'm ignorant. The Ignorance is Free at gmail.com. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. And make sure you check us out next week Saturday at 9, because if you don't, I'm gonna fucking murder your entire family.